This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Mr. Floyd, are you there?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Floyd, thank you for taking time to sit down and interview with us. I just want to ask you a couple questions. I know that you are one of the soul legends of Stax. You really defined the Stax, and you also know Mr. Knock on Wood as like one of your your definitive career hit. You wrote this song for Mr. Otis Redding, correct?
Well, yes, Steve Cropper, guitar player, Booker T and the MGs. We were writing a lot of different songs for different artists. This particular song, we had an idea that, it would be a great song for Otis Redding. So we put the song together and, submitted it to the company for Otis. But during that particular time, Otis' style was a little different from that particular song. And the company thought it was probably not the right song for Otis at that particular time. So, but when they heard the song and they heard the demo for Otis, and they heard the demo, and everyone thought that it was would be a good song to release on Eddie Floyd, and they did. So, good thing they did. Later, Otis, of course, heard my version of it and decided to do it along with Carla Thomas, and they did it as a duet instead of, single version. So it turned out even better.
But I like to ask because to me, it's like people don't really understand. Like, yes, you're known for writing that signature song of yours, but you actually was behind the hits for Carla Thomas, and you also worked with Mr. Wilson Pickett as well. So you really kind of created a path for other people to follow, a pathway for even some of your peers, correct?
Well, it seemed like it turned out to be that way. We just wrote songs and we had ideas for different artists, and if they liked the song, they would do it. And I was lucky, to get Wilson Pickett. Of course, Pickett and we came from a group called the Falcons, 1959. And did a couple of songs, so I knew Pickett all the way through the career, And he decided, he would do 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and then we did one called 99 and a half, which was a good tune for him. We did for Rufus Thomas, do the breakdown, just different one. Carla Thomas, who was responsible for me coming to Stax. I met her in Washington, D.C., along with disc jockey A.L.L, who was disc jockey for a local radio station there. And we wrote these songs, Stop, Look What You're Doing to Me, Comfort Me. A couple of songs we wrote for Carla, and got a chance to drive down to Memphis and saw the layout, and everybody liked the songs, and that was the introduction of me coming to Memphis and actually writing for these artists. And I never dreamed I'd be able to write for so many different ones in the way that we did. But it really worked out really good that way,
Well, I'm asking you, like you said Carl Thomas, was responsible for introducing you to the Stax company. When was your first time meeting Otis Redding? And do you know this guy was something special when you first met him?
Well, I was knocked out over everybody when I basically met him same time I would have met Booker T and the MGs. He had Stax. I heard some of his tunes just before I arrived at Stax, and knew of his songs anyway. So I got a chance to meet him when he came into Memphis, into the studio, when he recorded, and eventually then we went out in 1967. We did the first European tour, going over to England and Norway, France, Scandinavia, all those places. And we did shows together, during that particular time. So that's how I got a chance to meet Otis. He was dynamic, that's for sure. Definitely the leader of Stax Records in every way. everybody sort of like followed suit, you know, kind of followed Otis, followed his lead. So, and they came up with the Memphis sound. That's my definition of it. They all followed Otis' lead. And they made history. I know I still perform all over the world. I'm travel at least 11. Well, I've been traveling 11 months so far. I got only one more show to do in England.
That's amazing.
On the 10th of December, and I would have been going the whole year, you know, just study. Well, 50th anniversary of Stax Records when we did that. We did L.A. Earlier this year. We did Austin, Texas. Of course, we did Memphis. You know, at the Orpheum Theater.
Oh yes, I was there. Yeah, it was a great show.
And we've done England, France. I've been with Booker T and MGs and William Bell and all through Italy for the 50th anniversary of Stax. I'm also doing the show with the original Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd band. They've been celebrating the 50th anniversary because I sang, you know, all of the Stax songs that the Blues Brothers recorded. Also with Booker T and MG, so just everywhere around the world we've been doing it all year long. And so, of course, I have to do Otis Redding. That's for sure. I always pay a tribute to Otis anyway. I'll add him in the show, actually, in London, because they'll always remember when we did the first tour, and Otis, you know, brought everybody over to England, and we did it all together. So it's been happening that way ever since. I mean, you know, at least in the name of Otis, we still do, you know, Dock of the Bay. That's my favorite one.
But that song, it wasn't actually completed when he died, correct? It was still in the process of being completed.
Well, I mean, he started it. So, I mean, at least he finished his part of it, and of course, yeah, the rest of it was later. He didn't get a chance to come back.
So y'all didn't really know how popular y'all was. It's kind of like y'all was kind of like the Beatles from America going over to Europe, and the Beatles went to America. Y'all didn't really have an understanding how popular y'all were, about, you know, to the Europeans, right? Was that true?
Well, I mean, you know, I would imagine that was like both ways. I don't think really the Beatles realized how big they were until they arrived here. Of course, I saw that first, and when I went to England, we experienced that ourselves, you know, and then we realized, wow, okay, it's sort of like doing us the same way the U.S. did the Beatles, you know. In many, many ways, and as far as I'm concerned, it still remains that way because the music, soul music, is supreme. In Europe, it's soul music. I mean, you can speak of it around the world, but if you go to Europe, there isn't anybody that doesn't know the soul singers from the States in all of their songs, and that's saying a whole lot. So.
Well, I know I saw you at the Handy Awards. I got a chance to really meet you, and you're a great guy, and you're a phenomenal consummate entertainer, so you did, you know, impromptu Knock on Wood rendition, which was great. It was great when I saw it at the Orpheum this summer. But doesn't it, like, I know somebody made a point of saying, well, you know, we need to start having more young people at these type of events so they can get to know the history. Does it disappoint you in a way that Europeans or even people from Japan or wherever from around the world, they'll know the Stax sound and all the signature artists, but at the same time, people in your own state or country don't really appreciate what you have to offer? Like what B.B. King said when somebody asked him about the Beatles. So all they did was reinforce the blues because they used to go there all the time like you and your cohorts and teach them how to music. But they wasn't appreciated like they should have been or should be right now. So do you feel kind of slighted by your reception in the States?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you know, as long as I'm still in the business, I can kind of understand that. Once, you know, you live it and you go a long time, and I might have wondered that way back, and as I keep on going, you know, and I realize that things change, you know. Mm-hmm. We created the music in the first place, I would say. you know, the blues, it's, you know, just everything about it. That everybody around the world wants to do it now, you know. And so there's a space in the world for, you know, the creators, the first guys who created it, and that opened up space for the newer groups with the newer styles of music too. So, you know, I think it offsets each other, you know. It gave us a chance, it's giving the newer people a chance. I don't really look at it like being slighted. I just realized we did it here once, and wow, now I'm actually doing it in places I never dreamed I'd go, you know. The rest of the world. So it still pays off, and doesn't give me enough chance to think about that, my man. I stay busy the whole time, knock on wood.
Well, that was a blessing, though. You're right about that. Somebody appreciate the music, and you still have an audience. But when you do your shows, is it more, who's in the audience more so? Is it majority white audience, or are there a lot of black people there still? I mean, what's the makeup?
Yeah, but it's the audience. Yeah, well, in most places, it depends on where we are. It depends on, it depends on where you are, what type of show it is that you're doing. Well, if I'm in Italy and Italians, well, you might see one black Italian opposed to 100 million white Italians. So if I'm in Italy, more than likely it would be basically all white, but nobody really looks at it that way. That's just the way it is. Then you go to another place. Well, we go to Africa. We go to different places. We play for all Spanish, all, you know, and then there's always a mixture there. There's always somebody from another race that's going to be there as far as the music, which age is universal.
Oh, you just right about it. You're such a cosmopolitan citizen as well. And like, touch back on Mr. Redding. Where were you when you first heard the news about Mr. Redding's death?
I was in London, actually, the second time. We had completed that tour, and that wasn't too long after that tour. But I was back in the States when I saw Otis come to the studio to record that day too. Actually, I left maybe about a couple of weeks after that and went to London to do my first tour, single tour. And we had been there a couple of weeks, and one morning about 6 a.m. in the morning, I got a call from a local paper, their newspaper, early in the morning, telling me about Otis, and that was when I first heard it. And of course, we got up, woke the band up, and we were all up around 7 a.m. that morning, just down in the lobby of the hotel. But it was buzzing, you know, because that's all you would hear, and all could see on the newspaper everything about Otis. So I was actually there in London, you know, second time.
You know, it's amazing to think about how young he was when he died. Was he 26, correct?
Yeah.
And but the fact he had such an older presence about himself, like he had such a maturity, or he had an old soul about him.
Yeah, well, that's it. It looked like he had been here forever. Yeah, like he had been here forever.
Do you think like it was over? Cause I know you stayed with Stax, and you was one of the reasons why Stax was able to survive as long as it did after Otis' death. But did you think it was over? Did a lot of people at Stax think it was over after Otis passed? Cause I know you said y'all followed him. He was like the leader of the bunch.
Well, we didn't really think it was over. We thought maybe we should carry it on, actually. I don't think nobody actually felt, you know, it took a few years before things went into other, you know, areas that caused us not to do the music, but all the way up until Otis and even beyond Otis, we knew we wanted to, you know, carry that music on. We realized what we had. We knew we had all the way back, and we would do it. You know, we come in town even into Memphis. I know the people knew we were doing the music even in Memphis, whether they knew how powerful that music was. That, you know, well, he's leaving town. I might be going anywhere. We didn't realize that we were going around the world that far back, you know, doing the music, and it's so much. It's even larger now, man. It's unbelievable. You know, the people still like that music, and they like it real strong too.
Oh, yeah, it's some great music, anything like that, in the right spirit, and it's great art. Great art is always timeless, in my opinion. And like I was actually, 67 was a rough end. Otis Redding and the original Barcades, with exception of Mr. Ben Colley and Mr. Alexander, they passed away in that plane crash. But also, the next year, you're dealing with the death of Dr. King. I know how I look at the documentaries, and we go to Stax Museum, they always said that everything changed after the death of Dr. King. In your mind, in your perception, did it really change? Did anything really change after the death of Dr. King in Memphis for you?
What now? I'm sorry.
Did anything change after the death of Dr. King in Memphis as far as you were concerned with Stax?
I'm missing the first part of that. I'm sorry.
I was saying, when Dr. King got assassinated in Memphis.
Oh, Doctor.
Did anything, change? I know I look at the documentaries when I go to the Stax Museum, they always say that everything changed after his death.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, everything in the world changed after his death, but still the music. I won't say that stopped that music, though. I don't know if that stopped the music. The attitudes and everything was different, of course. Nobody had experienced that before, but I don't know if that really stopped the music. I never thought it was stopping me because I was always moving. I was always going. I knew where the music came from. A lot of people don't realize that all of the music, I won't say all of it, but it's 99.5% of it. Probably came from the LorraINe Hotel where Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, because we come into town and little hotel, there downtown. Over in a little corner there, a little gentleman named Mr. Butler, he owned the hotel, and he loved the entertainers to come, and we sat in those rooms and write. And every time I see on TV or anything of the monument of Memphis and the shooting of Dr. Martin Luther King, I'm looking at the same rooms that we wrote, Knock on Wood, 634. Midnight Hour, all these tunes were written in those rooms before we knew this was going to happen to him.
Oh, wow.
It's like a double history thing. I never hear nobody speak of it that way.
But like you said, it is a hotel. Sam, I saw a picture of Ernest Withers. He took up Aretha Franklin and Sam Cooke from that hotel back in '59.
Oh, everybody. LorrAINE Hotel. Everybody. And we write songs, and then we go to the studio next morning and put the songs together. So I'm just saying it's a double history thing there. So even when that particular day I was recording in the studio when we heard about Dr. King, being assassinated at the LorrAINE Motel. I was living in Memphis then, though not at the hotel, but right away my mind could go all the way back to those rooms and see every corner of the LorrAINE Hotel, a little small hotel. Probably stayed in every room, and it's kind of ironic that all the history of that music started there first, and then in the ending was Dr. King. So it's a double history thing there.
Also, speaking of double history, I like to touch on, are you in the process of writing your life story down, your memoirs, or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I'm in the process of doing one that, where I can get that time. We're working on it.
So the reason why I say that, I think that, you should, a lot of times we don't give praise to our heroes. As far as the black community, we don't really know our history. We don't know how to pay homage to people that really did something. You actually, before you came to Stax, was a pioneer. You set the template for the bands to come, like the Four Tops and the Temptations. What you started, your uncle with the record labels.
Yeah. Well, I had a double career there, too. I started in 1955 in Detroit, Michigan. Just started my career with a group called the Falcons, and we had quite a few artists. Wilson Pickett was out of that group, and Sir Mac Rice was out of that group, who wrote Mustang Sally and Keeper to Keep, all those things. And, just starting then, and as a kid, I met just about everybody. My uncle managed my group, the Falcons, His name was Robert West, and Catherine West, which was his wife. So he started my group, the Falcons. He also started Diana Ross, who was the little group called the Primettes at that time. They wasn't with hadn't started with Motown at that time. So I met Temptations. I met the Four Tops was Levi Stubbs of the Four Tops, the lead singer of Four Tops, and his brother Joe Stubbs was one of the lead singers of my group, the Falcons. So, it was quite a big family thing coming all the way through. Met Barry and them when they were first starting their label. Just everybody from Motown, So that was the first introduction of me when we recorded in 1959, You're So Fine, which carried us straight to American Bandstand #1 record. Came back with Wilson Pickett on tune called I Found the Love. So that was my first introduction. Oh yeah, I come from way back. way back, but luckily to still be moving on. So anyway, that's my story of it, and I hope you'll be able to use it.
Oh, definitely, you're like an icon to me that should get their record. My thing is always like, I'm very passionate. I'm a historian, an armchair historian, but I'm very passionate about what you represent, sir, because basically you had indirectly helped foster the Motown sound, and you helped the Stax sound. And a lot of people I know that I talk to that are really into the music, they love the Stax sound, I guess, over the Motown sound. I guess, what is it about Stax? You think that Otis Redding could have happened at Motown? The type of career he had?
Definitely. Yeah, I think it could have happened vice versa. I think you could have took all those people from Motown and took them to Memphis and took those people from Memphis and took them to Detroit. No, that was destined to be. It had to be. On both, with both companies, but then there were quite a few other companies inspiring everybody too now, just from all around the USA. Duke and Peacock Records down in Texas with Bobby Bland. That seems to get none of those guys, Gilman Huff, just everybody was doing a little something. So I'm
gonna ask you, before I let you go, what do you think about the music today, like the hip hop, the rap, and the R&B or lack of R&B today? I don't know if the R&B really does exist anymore.
No, not unless we sing it.
You're right about that. But what do you think about the state of music, and what do you think is the problem, if there is any problems, and what can we do as far as solutions?
Well, all I can say is everything is here for hip hop or for any other style of music now. Way more than my imagination. From where I came, and I managed to still experience some of this, but I don't really think it's like a problem other than don't like to be giving nobody advice, but it's as big as artists are becoming today, something with it. That's all I can tell you. Pass it on, and hey, God bless them, I mean, let them. Hey, why not tear the music on,
Now, and I found out how would you like to be remembered, how you like your career or how you like to be remembered as a person.
Hey, just as a kind, loving person, I'll give a shirt off my back.
And I really do believe you would. I mean, you just got this sensibility. I mean, the type of person that you were when I met you at the Henny Awards, the way you carried yourself, the accessibility. I mean, you had a regalness about yourself. And you had a sense of loyalty. You had a sense of who you are. So this is very much an honor to be able to talk to you, Brother Floyd, on this phone line about your career, about Mr. Redding, about, today's music or anything else. And I'm looking forward to continuing the dialogue in the very near future with you as well, if you are open to it.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'll be actually getting back in around the 15th, so I'll be in only for about 2 weeks. I start January 1st again in England for 3 months.
You a steady rolling man, like Robert Johnson.
Well, they've been blessed on that. I mean, they still want me to do it, so why not?
We wish you the well off that, man. I'm really thankful that you're still around. I know a lot of fans around the world I'm really thankful that you're still around. But I look forward to reading your book one day and hopefully seeing your life story on the screen.
Oh, that's great. All right, thank you very much.
Barber 14.